Hi, I'm David Kuo with Logan Consulting. As we work with clients and prospects, one of the most consistent areas of frustration we hear about is how ineffective the training results have been as they attempt to get their users to utilize the native functionality available in their ERP system. We have seen this too and have come to some realizations that we'd like to share in the hope it will make your training more effective going forward. The first realization is that training people to use their ERP system is much more like a skill you attain in a sport, say shooting a free throw or dribbling a soccer ball, versus classroom knowledge you might learn in school. The skills needed to properly shoot a free throw or dribble a soccer ball can be taught within a matter of a few hours, just like the skills needed to properly schedule an MRP run or forecast a schedule. Yet, in all four situations, understanding of these skills by no means equate to mastery of these skills. It is easy for most of us to shoot free throws at a very high percentage in a quiet gym. Yet, as we've seen time and time again, it is a much different situation when you have to make a free throw in front of 17,000 screaming fans at the end of a game, knowing if you miss, your team will lose. And what does this have to do with ERP utilization? Well, our observation is that immediately after training, most attendees are able to use the system the way it was intended. But without reinforcement, over time we tend to backslide into our old habits. This backsliding becomes magnified under time or backlog pressure. And under pressure, almost everyone reverts back to old habits. And even with the greatest intentions of, I'll do it right the next time, we tend to gravitate toward what is familiar. As a result, 30 to 60 days later, it's almost like the training never occurred. The second realization is that practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. One of the biggest mistakes that we have observed is asking long-term employees to train new hires in their respective departments without confirming they in fact are correctly executing the processes and procedures agreed upon. And if you are practicing the wrong way, you ingrain the wrong habits. I can relate to this personally with my experience in learning to swing a golf club. I taught myself to swing a golf club incorrectly, even though I thought I was correctly modeling the tips taught in golf magazines. And while I'm now working with a coach, I had a good 10 years of ingraining bad habits into my swing. Not surprisingly, it is much harder to undo a bad swing than it is to learn a good swing from the beginning. Third, be crystal clear on what your definition of success is as a result of the training. Is this simply general overview training? What behaviors do you want change as a result of the training? What results do you want? If you can't define this, then you probably can't measure it, and more importantly, manage it. What gets managed and reported can be improved. We need to continue to ask the question, are we getting better? Finally, our experience is that successful training is an ongoing process, not a one-time event. It is a continuous loop of practice, measure, improve or correct, and practice again. A mantra that we have seen work very successfully is a little bit all the time. In other words, providing an environment for the users to practice in an hour or two a week greatly improves the probability that the new skills will stick when they are put under pressure. It doesn't guarantee the training will be a success, but it greatly increases your odds.